Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to isolate an ingredient of that race that we might look back on later as having been a guide to finding the winner. Well, Sha Ladies Purse on Sunday, a Group 3 race. I'm going to have a look at a couple of the support races, and the first of them is race 2, where our winning factor is the map. Now this is quite an open race, this Class 4. I think we've got winning chances towards the top of the handicaps with winning Scholars, fitter for a run back this season. Fantastic Show did a decent job back down to Class 4 last start. We've seen eye-catching runs from the lightly raced Sparta Missile and Dr. Winning. Infinite Power and the well-graded Noble Steed have some claims, and all the way down in the field, El Jefe and Mega Bonus have chances with good draws and lighter weights, so a pretty tough event. But I do think that a good draw is going to help refine the chances here. So I thought first of all we might just take a look at the map, which is our winning factor in the race. And when we look at how they set up Victory Scholars, he has blinkers first time. He may lead them, but he also has the option to let some of the speed coming across from wider cross him early and take a trail. And Zach Burton, I'm sure, will think about that on the run. Either way, he gets a comfortable trip, and so too does Mega Bonus, stepping up in distance, while you see a number of the horses I mentioned earlier have to deal with either wide barriers or their lack of tactical speed. And Victory Scholars, he's had a 1200 metre race and also a barrier trial to blow out the cobwebs for the new season. But this is his final run of the last campaign, and this is the race that I'm judging him on. Now, this is race 782. He's in red colours and he's very easy to find. He's first out of the gates for Burton, and then it takes a little while to get some clarity on whether he's going to lead or not. But eventually Burton rolls onto the lead at the first turn. But no sooner has he done that than another runner works up around him on his outside to keep him busy. So from the start, he's really never effectively had a chance to relax, take a breath, but then they turn for home and he still finds a good kick at the top of the stretch and fights off a line of challengers right down to the line. Now, there was no fancy margin there, and I guess some people will hold that against him, but it was a race where he didn't get much peace in the lead. He was always having to do something, so I thought it was a pretty good effort to win. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the weights, the horse that I thought might be his main danger gets Joe Moreira jumping on Sunday. And that horse is Mega Bonus in yellow and green colours here in race 65. This is his latest start, and he jumps well for Harry Bentley. He takes out the one back spot behind the eventual winner. But you see on the heat map, not a lot of pace here early. They shift it up to average on the circle, and you see Bentley has to shake up Mega Bonus just to keep that spot, even gives him a slap with the whip, and then has to work hard on him down the straight. And he responds, keeps on fighting for third, but is just out sprinted. So you can see that the extra distance is going to suit Mega Bonus, so he can take a forward position, and he is getting a lot of weight off Victory Scholars. However, the tip in race 2, Victory Scholars, his winning factor, the map. And I think that the two horses that I've just mentioned, they get most of the benefits here on the map, but Victory Scholars might just be the better horse, and Burton has all the options with this horse sitting on the front end of the race. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9, and our winning factor here, the trainer. Now this is a Class 3. I don't see a lot of chances in the race. Master Delight has looked promising in 2 starts in Hong Kong. Zach Burton's ride Maldives will have some fans, of course. Chevalier Prince, he's racing well and may have a tactical edge with his early speed. And Beauty Spirit, coming up in class off an overdue win in Class 4. But I'm mostly interested in Chevalier Prince from one of the leading stables currently, Frankie Law, and also Master Delight from the John Size Yard. Now, he's done a few things wrong in his 2 starts in Hong Kong, but certainly looks to have some promise. And we're going to have a look at his second start in Hong Kong. This is race 93, and he's in yellow and red colours. He's drawn wide. He begins a lot better than he did in his Hong Kong debut when he missed the start, but there is decent pace inside him, and Joe Moreira has to steady into midfield. Now you see on the heat map the pace drops sharply in the second section, and you can see Master Delight gets a bit keen. He's wanting to go a bit faster and throws his head around, but then the speed picks up again when they get to the 800 metre turn. Master Delight settles down again, and then in the straight he wears away steadily at the leaders, but you'll note that 3 of the first 4 into the straight fought out the finish, so there was no advantage here coming from behind. So since that run, Master Delight has had a very strong barrier trial. He moves up to 1600 metres now and a better gate, so we should get a bit better guide on this horse on Sunday. But his main rival, I think, is Chevalier Prince, so we'll take a look at his most recent run. And this is the following meeting, race 98, and he's first out of the gates here in red colours over 1800 metres. But Matthew Poon, he goes forward but lets a couple of others lead him early in what is a significantly slow pace through the early and middle stages. Now rounding the home turn, he lets his horse stride up to second and knows he's getting positioned for what is going to be a very sharp sprint down the home straight, and that is what happens. Now Chevalier Prince, he's had all the favours in the running. This is a perfect ride. But even with the soft tempo, his stamina gets stretched by the 1800 metres and he just can't get home well enough to win the race. Now that's not the first time we've seen Chevalier Prince in that situation at 1800 metres, and he just doesn't seem to be able to run out that distance. But at 1600 metres, where he finds himself on Sunday, he is already a winner. So let's take a look at the map, and that gate speed that he showed there, Chevalier Prince, is going to hold him in good step, as we have a very likely leader in Super 10, provided he jumps cleanly this time, which he didn't first up for the season. And Chevalier Prince, I think he'll follow him forward and position close again in a race without a lot of pace. Now that map is certainly not going to suit Maldives, who'll get a long way back, but Master Delight up to 1600 metres now and with a better draw, I think we might see him a little bit closer, as he was over this sort of distance when he raced in Australia. And now I'm going to take a little detour, because the other thing working for Master Delight here is the time of year. Now this first graphic I'm going to show you, you've already seen once this season. This is the table of early season trainers, and I showed this before meeting 1 and highlighted the trainers who would be the major players in the first 2 months of the season, and that has gone almost perfectly to the script. If you look at their win tallies and their order of the predicted 6 top trainers after 2 months, 5 of them are there, and the only real surprise is the slow start for Casper Founds, suffering a championship winning hangover. And that's one of the benefits of operating in a closed pool of horses, jockeys, trainers and tracks in Hong Kong, that we can do this kind of statistical reference. And tracking the early season trainers, well, that's very consistent every season, and so too is John Size cranking things up from November onwards. So the 11-time trainer is generally a slower starter, but this is the month where he moves into play, and rather than bombard you with another avalanche of numbers from his 20-year Hong Kong career, I thought this graphic was a little bit more elegant. You can see these are the average number of winners that he has per month through the season, and generally September is a low month for him, and he builds through October before his peak months through the middle of the season, from November through to about March or April, and then tapers in the final 2 months. So the tip in race 9, Master Delight, his winning factor, the trainer. There's an awful lot to like about this horse in Sunday's race just on a form basis, but at this time of year, with a horse who is building towards the 4-year-old races, he's also got a trainer who's building towards his best, and now is the time to start hitching your wagon to the John Size stable. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.